Let's go pick up Rebecca Ross's Ruthless Vows. I am about to read Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I feel like I haven't been as excited to read a sequel to a book since Emily Wilde, so I'm really excited about this book. And I just picked it up, and so it has that yummy book smell. Delicious. So because I loved Divine Rivals so much, I have such high expectations for the final book in the duology. I am really excited to see where it goes, and from my understanding, this book, Roman has lost his memories, and Iris is continuing working as like a war correspondent, and they're still able to communicate with each other through letters. And so it's like he's meeting her again for the first time. And so I'm really excited to see like where that goes and the progression of the war and like what's gonna happen with the god and the goddess. Like, oh, there's so much, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. So I can't wait any longer. Let's start reading Ruthless Vows. But wait, you know the drill. We gotta take this dust cover off. I really hope that there's like a pretty picture under here like there was in the first one. I'm really excited. Let's see. Oh, my heart. It says, Dear Roman. Oh. That's so cute. So like the first one said Dear Iris, and then this one says Dear Roman, so. I'm so excited. Okay, let's read this. And I'm a little bit more than 100 pages into the book, so of course it's kind of time to update you on what's been going on in Ruthless Vows. So this book takes place about 2 weeks after the conclusion of Divine Rivals, and so like Iris and Attie, they're back at the ink-writing press, and they're kind of doing their thing there, and Iris is getting approached by like Roman's dad, as well as like one of Roman's dad's like associates who's basically trying to give her a bunch of money to like divorce Roman, and obviously she's like no. And she doesn't know where he is either. Like nobody's heard from him, they don't know where he is, and obviously everybody's really concerned about him. And so like Iris is just like patiently waiting like for him and like waiting for an opportunity to get back on the front lines to try and find him. You imagine the surprise when they see in the Oath Gazette there's the front page with Roman's byline completely opposite, like very propaganda for the god, even though he's kind of like the bad guy, and it's like this guy saved a bunch of people, but in reality this is the guy who stormed into the city and just like killed a bunch of people. But he's basically using Roman, which is why he saved him in the last book, to basically write this like other narrative. And because Roman doesn't remember anything, he could barely even remember his name until he touched him and Iris's typewriters. He doesn't remember Iris. He doesn't remember which side he was on. He doesn't remember anything. He just sometimes gets like these sickening feelings when he's helping the god, and it's like he doesn't understand why, and he's like frustrated because he doesn't know what's happening, but he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's not, and like he in a way knows it but doesn't know it. So it's been really interesting, especially like you get to really see the other side and like why the god kind of does stuff, how he's kind of like planted his roots and is taking people to like fight for him, like taking away memories and pretending to be this like amazing guy who's been like wrongfully seen. And then like you learn a little bit more about like his background and like his sister and like his sister's abilities and his cousin's abilities and like all of this. And so I think it's really interesting that you get to really understand from like the villain's perspective and learn about him. I think that's just so good. And so I never would have guessed that in this book there would be a heist, but there was a heist. And so now Iris and Roman are writing letters to each other, and it's kind of opposite, right? Because she knows it's Roman, he doesn't know it's Iris, whereas in the first book he knew it was Iris but she didn't know it was Roman. And so like he doesn't remember, and she's being careful because like she doesn't want to say something that could get her like in trouble because she knows he's with the bad guys. So they're just kind of corresponding with each other right now, and it's really nice to just like get that different change going on. And I was really excited to figure out like how are the typewriters going to be relevant, right? They're super relevant, and it's so good. So I'm gonna continue reading. Iris has just got to kind of like, she met up with Marisol, and there's this guy named Tobias who's like drives this big fast car, and I think that he and Attie are gonna have like some kind of relationship. I'm just kind of getting like the vibes like that, and I'm like, ooh, that could be good. So I'm excited to see where that goes and just where the rest of the story is gonna go. So I'll update you when I'm probably about the halfway point. So I'm now about halfway through this book, and I'm still loving it so much. The writing is, of course, just so beautiful. I love the writing style so much, and like I'm like hooked. I'm like, I gotta keep reading, because it's so much fun. And I'm really liking like, so Roman, like he's starting to get some of his memories back, right? And so like he and Iris are kind of sharing information. And so because he's with the god, he was able to relay like that top secret information to Iris, and she was able to like intervene and pretty much like save a bunch of people. And I think that's really, really cool because they don't have to fight like with weapons or magic to make a difference. It's like their words are making a difference, and I think that that's really cool. And then when we finally got like the short-lived reunion, like they see each other and it's like, oh, the memories come back, and he's like, oh my goodness, it's my wife, and she's like, it's my husband. It was cute, but then she had to like escape and stuff because he's still like, now he kind of has like his memories back, but he's pretended not to so he can continue to get this information. And like it's really getting close to like the conclusion now of like the war, because they're on their way to Oath. Oath is the last place that they need to conquer, and so there's this other cool discovery that they do that's kind of like weaved and was actually hinted at in the first book, and it's basically like these magical pathways. So in the beginning, in the first book in Divine Rivals, they talked about how there's like old magic, and certain houses have like the essence of old magic, and that's actually these like pathways that like the gods can take and the goddess can take to like teleport basically in like different areas. And I think it's just so cool. And wardrobes too, like there are doors to like, at least like in the underworld for one of them. And it's like, it was really like stressful because it's like the letters come from the wardrobes, but one of the wardrobes was being used as a door to go to the underworld, so they had to be really careful. And another thing that I think is really cool about this, like the second book, is that you really get to explore the depths of the magic now and like learn more about the creatures and all of that. So like the first book, there was definitely like essence of that, but this one is really expanded on the world and just made it even better. So I think that this is really great and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. I am so worried about Roman this entire time because like he's starting to get his memories back, but he's also like feeling the effects of his injuries. And I'm like, if they kill Roman, I'm gonna riot because Roman needs to be protected at all costs. And I just want them to have a happy ending, and I'm really hoping they have a happy ending. So I'm gonna continue to read, and I will update you when I'm either done the book or when I'm almost done the book, and then we can chat about it. We are almost done this book, and I am so sad that it's almost over because it's been a wild ride. I got to the part where you don't know who to trust in the book, let's put it that way. And so like Roman goes to this like event that's being held, and without saying exactly what happens, something happens, and it really shows like where loyalties lie. And then so it's so exciting. It's like, I'm like screaming at it. And then on Iris's perspective, she just met somebody very important that I'm excited to see where that goes. That's literally right where I paused, right when she met this person. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like I know exactly who that is. And so I'm really, really hyped because there's so much foreshadowing like about like music and dreams and stuff. So I'm really excited to see like where it goes. And again, what I'm really loving is that you really get a deeper dive into the magic, into the world, into the creatures. Like, I didn't think that I would feel bad for like the monsters until you realize like what the flutes are for. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's like so much. And then just like how it's all kind of coming close to the end of the story. And I'm just like, I'm loving every second of it. I love it. I love the magic. I love the character development. Unfortunately, still like Attie's character still hasn't really had that much development, which is disappointing because I think there's a lot with her. Like, I think that she had a cool kind of like reasoning to be like a war correspondent, but I feel like nothing's really developed from there. But other than that, everything about this book, beautiful. So let's get back into reading and see where it goes, and hope Roman and Iris get out of this safely. I just finished Rebecca Ross's Ruthless Vows, the final installment of the duology, and I have a lot of feelings. Chapter 53 took my heart out, smashed it in half, cut it up into tiny little pieces, filleted it, and then sent it out into like a black hole. I am so sad that happened. What could have been? My heart. I literally, like, my jaw dropped at that part. I was like, oh, no. And I had to like take a moment to process it. And I think that that's really good. Like when you get so attached to characters, and it's war, right? Like you don't know the outcome. And I think this book did such a good job in representing that. And it's like anyone can die at any minute, but there are also like those who survive. They have not only the mental effects from war, but some of them are stuck with the physical effects of what happened to them in war. And so like they have to live with that forever. And I thought that was really great because I feel like a lot of the time it's like either characters die or you only focus on one or the other, the mental or the physical. But like they weaved it in so well, and I'm just like, flawless. And of course, like the way that they did the letters like throughout the entire book was just so good. It's just like, it literally is like reading love letters from people, and like it just was just so well done, and everything made sense, and the pacing was amazing, and like it really had me on the edge of the seat every single time. I'm like, what's gonna happen next? Like, it was so fast paced, it was so good, and like I'm just in awe about this. It's the kind of book where I literally did like a bunch of like airless screams where it's like, ah! Like, because I couldn't believe what was happening to my beloved characters, who I just feel so attached to them. Like, I just love them so much. Like, it was only 2 books, but like my heart. So I'm sure you can guess I am also giving this book 5 stars like the first one. This one emotionally wrecked me, and I love the way that it ended. Like, everything was wrapped up in such a pretty little bow, like every single thing, like even just like the smaller things on the side, like everything was wrapped up, and then you get like the 3 months and the 1 year, and I think it was just so well done, and like it feels good. Like, sometimes when a book is done, it doesn't feel like it's done, but this one, it feels like it's done in the best possible way. Like, I just feel satisfied, sad and satisfied. The only thing that I wish that we saw more of was the goddess. Like, we got a lot of great character development and insights into the god, and like literally just like a bunch about him and like his followers and like his whole backstory and everything, but we never really learned as much about his counterpart, and I would have loved to learn more about that. And like in the epilogue, there was a really like interesting kind of factor that I wonder if there's gonna be like a novella that kind of dives deeper into some characters, like the character at the end there. I really hope so, because there is so much opportunity to learn more about that character, and I think that's the only thing I can think of that I would really like feel like maybe is missing. I would also love to see like 20 years in the future, like, do any of the characters have kids? Like, what's life like? I'm so fascinated. Like, I just loved it. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend Rebecca Ross's series. Letters of Enchantment is the name of the series. So it comes with Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. And honestly, both books are perfection. Like, I wasn't bored reading any of them. The pacing, the characters, the development, the world, the foreshadowing, like everything is just, it's so well done. And I'm so happy that it was just 2 books. Like, it wasn't milked, it was perfect. Like, I would reread these again. That's how much I loved them. So I'm gonna go and dream away my sorrows from chapter 52 of What Could Have Been. And so if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. As you can see, very passionate about books and deeply invested in them. I started this book last night, finished it pretty much like it's been 24 hours. I just checked my watch. It's been 24 hours exactly since I started the book. And so yeah, I'm really dedicated to reading. So if you're into that and you like books and you like vlogs and reviews and all that kind of stuff, definitely hit subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, and if chapter 52 also broke your heart, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully my heart is healed by then. Bye!